Hello friends, my name is CA Mokshada Shah and here I am brief you about the Indian Contract Act 1872. I am taking the reference of a study material so that from the video you can brief it easily. Let's start with the Indian Contract Act 1872. What is contract? Section 2 subsection H of the Indian Contract Act 1872 defines the contract as an agreement enforceable by law. There is a two terms, an agreement and enforceable by law. Let's start with an agreement. What is agreement? Again, section 2 subsection E of the Indian Contract Act 1872 defines the agreement as promises or a set of promises. Promises or a set of promises forming the consideration for each other. There is also a two terms like promise plus considerations equals to agreement. Now what is promise? This definition says that when the person to whom the proposal is made signify his assent thereto and the said proposal is accepted, then the accepted proposal becomes the promise. I know you cannot understand it. Let's start it again. When the person to whom the proposal is made signify his assent thereto, the said proposal is to be accepted and the accepted proposal is becomes the promise. यानी कि प्रॉमिस के लिए क्या चाहिए? प्रपोजल प्लस एक्सेप्टेंस इक्वल्स टू प्रॉमिस. अग्रीमेंट के लिए क्या चाहिए था? प्रॉमिस प्लस कंसिडरेशन, राइट. और कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के लिए अग्रीमेंट प्लस एनफोर्सेबल बाय लॉ. नाउ लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द एनफोर्सेबिलिटी ऑफ अ लॉ. व्हाट इज द एनफोर्सेबिलिटी ऑफ अ लॉ? एनफोर्सेबिलिटी ऑफ अ लॉ दैट इट मस्ट गिव टू द लीगल रेज टू द लीगल ऑब्लिगेशन. एग्जाम्पल के द्वारा समझते हैं इसको. That A agrees to sell his car to the B for a 2 lakh rupees. Now A is under obligation to give car to the B. B is under obligation to the 2 lakh rupees. Now there is a consideration. There is a contract. Yes, there is an agreement. There is a contract. There is a consideration. Right. Now second example. Father agrees to give his son a pocket money of rupees 500. Now there is a contract. If father refused to pay, so can son go to the court of law and recover it? No, there is a social agreement. There is a no contract between them. There is a no enforceability of a law between them. So there is a no contract. You can see in the study material there are essentials of a valid contract. जो दो पार्ट में दिया गया है. एक में लिखा है कि it is given by section 10 of the Indian Contract Act और दूसरा लिखा है नॉट गिवन बाय सेक्शन 10 बट इट इज एसेंशियल. यानी कि जो कुछ पॉइंट्स है देयर इज नॉट मेंशन इन द सेक्शन बट इज आल्सो एसेंशियल फॉर द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. लेट्स क्विक ब्रीफ अबाउट इट. देयर इज अ टू पार्टीज. ऑब्वियसली वन कैन नॉट मेक अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट विद हिमसेल्फ और हरसेल्फ फॉर अ बाइंग अ गुड्स. देयर शुड बी अ सेल फ्रॉम अ समवन, राइट. तो देयर शुड बी अ टू पार्टीज. Parties must intended to create the legal obligations. Yes, parties must be in an intention to create a legal obligations. एग्जाम्पल के द्वारा समझते इसमें दिया गया है कि husband agrees to pay his wife certain amount as a maintenance every month while he was abroad. Husband failed to pay the promise amount. Wife sue him for recovery of the amount. Here in case wife could not recover. Why could not recover? Because it is not a contract. There is no agreement between them. There is no enforceability of a law between them. It is a social contract, social agreement, sorry. Third, other formalities to be complied with a certain cases. What is the other formalities to be? Like contract मतलब एक्ट में डिफाइन नहीं किया गया है कि contract should be a written or should be a oral, right? But for the interest of the parties, the contract should be in a written, right? Like insurance contract. Insurance contract must be in a written, right? So there should be other formalities to be complied with certain cases. Fourth, certainty of a meaning. What is the certainty of a meaning? Like there is no the vogue or indefined, right? There should be a certain. Like example के द्वारा समझे तो A agrees to be 100 tons of oil. What kind of oil? For what consideration? There is nothing mentioned, right? So there should be a certainty of a meaning. Possibility of a performance of an agreement. The party should be capable of performing that. Like अपन ये नहीं बोल सकते कि भाई चल तू जादू करके कबूतर निकाल मैं तुझे 500 रुपए दूंगा. there is no agreement between them, there is no performance, there is no possibility of a performance of a contract, right? अब है ऑफर एंड एक्सेप्टेंस ऑफ अग्रीमेंट. ऑब्वियसली आपने ऊपर देखा, वन शुड बी अ ऑफर एंड देयर शुड बी अ एक्सेप्टेंस. फ्री कंसेंट, यस इट इज अ इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. फ्री कंसेंट, देयर शुड, क्या कहते हैं कि टू और अ मोर पर्सन आर से टू बी कंसेंट व्हेन दे आर अग्री अपॉन द सेम थिंग इन द सेम सेंस. लाइक एग्जाम्पल के द्वारा समझे, आपने जो पहले लिया था दैट ए अग्रीज टू सेल हिज कार टू द बी. नाउ ए इज थिंकिंग ही इज सेलिंग हिज अ ब्लैक कार and B is thinking that he is buying a green car. So there is a free consent? No, there is a misunderstanding, right? So there is no free consent. It is caused by undue influence, fraud, or a misrepresentation or a mistake. So there should be a free consent. Third, capacity of the parties. It is also an important point. Section 11 of the Indian Contract Act defines the contract competent to the whom age of majority. The person should be a sound mind and it should not be a disqualified by the law, the person or the object to. मतलब कोई ऐसी चीज का भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए कि जो लॉ के द्वारा डिस्क्वालीफाई हो चुकी है. कंसिडरेशन, yes, a valuable consideration in the sense of law, some right of interest or a profit. Like A agrees to sell his books for ₹100. B promised to pay ₹100 consideration to A, and A promised to sell his books to the A. There should be a valid consideration. There should be a valuable consideration in the interest of the parties. Not expressly declared void. क्या कहता है ये? An agreement entered into must not be which law declares to be illegal. अगर कोई चीज का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर रहे हो जो ऑलरेडी इलीगल है, या किसी ऐसी मतलब अग्रीमेंट कर रहे हो जो ही इलीगल है, देन इट इज अ वॉइड एक्सप्रेसली. मतलब आपको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करने से पहले ही वो क्या हो गया? वॉइड हो गया, प्रोहिबिटेड बाय लॉ है इसलिए. ओके, इसमें एक एग्जाम्पल लिखा है, द थ्रेट टू कमिट अ मर्डर, सुपारी देना, वी कैन से दैट. अगर उसका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ है, देयर इज अ इल्लीगल, देयर इज नो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बिटवीन देम. ओके, so we have understood in the video about the essentials of a valid contract and what is the contract. If any query, you can comment it below. Thank you so much. In the next video, I will come up with the type of the contract. Thank you.